What's up, ladies and gentlemen? In a day when the comments win, asking for a friend. So I got this text message today that got me thinking. It was from a friend. It said,
I work in Washington, D.C., but I live in Maryland. I'm thinking about moving to Washington, D.C. for a shorter commute.
so I said, hey Siri, what's the average price for rent in Washington, D.C. in 2025?
In 2025, the average rent in Washington, D.C. is around $2,400 per month. Specifically, Bay Property Management Group says that studio apartments average $1,866, one-bedroom apartments average $2,301, and two-bedroom apartments average $3,158. However, other sources like Rent.com indicate an average rent of $2,306 per month.
Dang, I didn't know it was that high. I only paid $1,450 in my little Southeast 2-bedroom back in 2024.
It's important to note that these are just averages, and actual rent prices can vary widely depending on the specific location, property, and amenities.
I felt that's a little on the high side of renting. So to further my investigation, I said, hey Siri, how much money do you have to make to be able to afford a $2,000 a month rent? And that's a little under the average number I got for the cost of rent.
To comfortably afford $2,000 in rent, a person generally needs a monthly gross income of around $6,667, or approximately $80,000 annually, based on the 30% Rural Landon and Credit Karma. This assumes that rent should not exceed 30% of your gross income.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a little over $6,600 a month you'll have to be making, and about a little over $41 an hour. That's crazy. Just to be able to live comfortably in a $2,000 a month rent. So I'm still curious. Hey Siri, what's the average income in Washington, D.C. by the hour?
In 2025, the average hourly wage in Washington, D.C. is approximately $52.89, according to Visual Capitalist. This makes it the highest paying state or territory in the U.S.
Whoa, my friend make that bag. Man, let me hold something to before you go broke. Nah, matter of fact, is your job hiring? Can you afford to live in Washington, D.C.? Would you live in Washington, D.C.? When you mention UMC, don't forget to tell him I said this, and tell him I said that, and tell him I said subscribe, and tell him I said share, and don't forget to tell him I said like it. I'll catch y'all on the next jump.